Hey, everybody. It's that time again. It's time for Drinks with...
John.
No,
I
Dee
was
Dee.
being nice.
All
right.
With
Drinks
John
with
and
Dee
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 Dee.
and John.
And me. Yeah.
Can you tell we're
So-
a married couple?
My God. Yeah, I look like my mom.
Your
She used
mom
to
was
always...
beautiful. I love that hair.
She used to,
great.
Marty. She used to... I always wondered why she would wear that thing. What do you call it? You'd put your hair up like that.
Like a hairband.
And then she would use her sunglasses, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Jane Fonda thing. My
I
God.
mean, you did that the other day. You wear your sunglasses and then you put your
I
hair
wore a
back.
second pair of sunglasses. I had to
People
put my hair,
notice.
but no man bun.
Well, cheers.
No man bun for me. Cheers. Here's to
Kentucky bourbon and anything
Kentucky bourbon and lots of things Kentucky, like Hazard, like Perry County, like we're going to be there in just a couple of weeks for my birthday. I'm very excited about that. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, I know a lot of people say this, but we've sold a lot of tickets, and there's only, how many are there? There's only like...
I'm not sure what they're doing, but they are selling.
But they're selling, yeah. So if you're going to want to go to see me and the Stars and Bars Band and Cody and Keith, then you got to get your tickets. You got to get them now. And every penny that we raise, I didn't drink,
Yeah. I was waiting on it.
goes to help the folks there who've recently been flooded.
And
Okay.
it will sell out. It's going to sell out. It's
And
definitely
then-
clicking away at a good pace for
Right.
sales because I get the report and there's no way it goes to a bad place because there's been a lot of stuff with USAID. And I said, look, in talking to them in the arrangements, I said, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I said, if it doesn't all go to the flood victims, we're out.
Yeah, we have to
So-
make sure that every penny goes to the flood victims. That means that we're donating this. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do. You know, like my mom used to say, my dad used to say, it is true. It's better to give than to receive. So this is our opportunity to give back to an area. Well, she's from Kentucky, and when I would, don't touch those pillows.
I won't.
We're talking to you from a laptop balanced on pillows. I'm going to take
We're
a picture
still in
of it.
Vegas, by the way, and
We are still in
we're
Vegas.
We're in a lovely, lovely oasis. It's a little overcast today, but when we look at the temperature everywhere else, we are happy. This is all good, and we're having a lovely time. We're having a great time. And I don't know what you're trying to do, but
I'm going to send that picture to Tony because I want people to
Really?
see.
Okay.
I do. I want people to see how high tech this whole thing is. We usually do it from a tripod, but something happened. And so there's how we're doing it right
Making it
now.
work.
Something happened, and we have to make it work because I remember one time we were late with the podcast, and there were 3 people on a bridge. They said they were going to jump because they hadn't seen the podcast. That's not exactly true, but it was almost
true at all.
almost that. They were like, "Oh my God, I can't get through the week."
Well, but you know what's nice?
And I
is
love that. Thank
there-
you for that. Don't jump off a bridge,
A
though.
lot of loyal followers, and no one said they were jumping on a bridge, but they're like, "Where is it?" You know, thank you for paying attention and watching. And it's usually 4 o'clock Eastern
See the little
time.
green dot? Okay, all right.
1 o'clock Pacific. So on Thursdays, that's our normal time. And we're just having a ball doing this, I have to tell you. So thank you for watching, and thank you always for your comments. Are so helpful, and we do look at every one of them.
Right. So back again, when you come to when you buy a ticket and come to the concert, all of the money for the ticket, all the money for everything that happens there goes to the cause. Okay, I want you to know that. So we're bringing the band in, we're bringing the bus in, we're doing
And
all
we're
that.
donating that because
Yeah.
we want to help the folks at Hazard because
Right, because
you're in a
Hazard
bad
been
spot.
very, very good to me.
And even though
and,
it was like the fictional Hazard, it doesn't matter. Everyone
Even though we
always,
spelled it wrong.
everyone always thought it was Kentucky. You know, if you watch the show, and and for me, it was always funny. And then when I met John, it was even funnier because I was born 13 miles from Hazard, so I always heard this
She
my
told me
whole
that.
life.
Yep.
That Hazard. Oh, well, is that Hazard, Kentucky? I said no. That show.
Oh, you
is
mean like the Dukes of
fictional.
Hazzard?
Georgia, Dukes of Hazzard, but there is a real Hazard in Kentucky.
Wait a minute, that show's fictional? It may be
Sort of.
fictional to some people,
Sort of.
but it's certainly not fictional to me. That's why. Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, when they asked me about Batman versus Superman was coming out, and they wanted to know what Jonathan Kent thought. Who's going to win the fight between Batman and Superman? I said, well, first of all, Batman is a fictional character, okay? So it's a ridiculous question.
Well, Hazard is real. Hazard with one Z in Kentucky. It's a county seat of Perry County.
Where
And
the Earls live, by the
or
way.
they will.
The Earls will live in Perry County, Kentucky. More about that some other time.
Yeah, but first, look, I mean, these folks, they were hit with the flood.
And then it
Then hit
froze.
again.
And then it froze.
No, there were two. There was a flood before this one.
Right, but it froze in between. This was the
And
wintertime.
after.
Yeah, so they need your help, they need your love, they need your support, they certainly need your prayers. But this is a way that you can actually support them and come back and see me and the guys. It's a great band. I tell people that I finally have the band I thought I had in high school. And what that means is when you got your high school band going, unless you happen to have been the Stone Ponies, which wound up being the Eagles, or you happen to have been whatever the Beatles called themselves before, you think your high school band is pretty rocking, and then 10, 15, 20, 40 years later you hear a cassette tape or a reel-to-reel tape and you go, my God, that's awful.
And by the way, the Eagles are performing in the Sphere here down the road in Vegas, and the tickets are crazy. They're crazy high. The tickets
they're
are
like
not
over
high
$1,000,
for
right? It's
Hazard.
insane.
I mean, the VIP, it's a little more, but look, we're wanting to raise money for these folks.
There is a meet and greet as well, and that is a little more expensive. I don't know what the prices are, but if you click, we'll include the link here, then I'm sure that the prices will be in there.
But we're trying to make it festive so everyone can have some sort of participation.
Right.
I mean, we are just coming to do this. The host committee, they're lovely.
On what day?
On John's birthday, April 8th.
Yay!
So that's such a wonderful way to celebrate when you give to people on your birthday. I think that's really saying something. And
Well-
John's really doing that his time and putting it together. And
Well, I didn't say all that to get a
No,
pat
I
on
know
the back,
that.
but
I think it makes more of a difference because it's like, look, it is better to give than to receive. And, and we had thought about, we wanted to do something on John's birthday, and we were going to do a concert that would have been for profit. Well, no, this is not. In fact, we're paying to make this
Right.
work, and we
Right.
love it. And the people there just need it so badly, and I cannot tell you a more grateful group. They've
been
so
wonderful.
grateful and so happy and so lovely. So thank you for those of you that are coming. Wonderful. There will be an opportunity to donate, even if you don't go. That's all being set up and all being added.
Oh, there's going to be a
time.
little okay, so there'll be a spot where you can click
Yeah.
and make a donation too if you
But
want.
we wanted to get it up quickly, so things will be added, and that's how.
But this
events
isn't like
go.
Social Security. There are no 300-year-old people
No.
receiving your donation. And they're not even going to be a couple of million people over 130 that are going to show up at the con. Can you believe all that nonsense? And I know we talked about that last week, but every day it seems like there's more and more stuff that just makes you go, what on earth are these people thinking?
I'm just even sad when people think they're donating to something and it's going to go to a good cause, and then it goes to like 90% administrative.
Well, yeah,
fees.
that's talking about
that
donating.
doesn't get to the people who need it.
Right, when we were doing Dukes, the big thing was donate to Ethiopia, right? And, no, I'm sorry. No, where was it? Gosh, I can't
Well,
remember.
bottom line is we're
But
happy to
this-
donate to Hazard instead of Ukraine. No offense to Ukraine, but they've gotten millions.
Well, and they
from
came
Americans.
around, by the way.
They did
came
come
around.
around. Well-
President Zelensky apparently, I mean, it must be true because President Trump read the letter that he wrote.
And
He
it
said,
took,
look, I'm
what,
ready
24
to...
hours?
Well, yeah, well, I think, people, you have to remember, not with Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu went to school in New Jersey. Where did he go?
I thought Princeton,
I
but
think
I don't
Princeton.
know. Maybe
So-
Harvard, I don't know, but it was an Ivy League.
But he's an Ivy League scholar, right? So English is just as if it was his first language. It's not his third or fourth language. I think there's an issue with Zelensky with regard to just understanding.
Oh, I don't. Oh, no. You're
Well-
not giving him a pass, are you?
No, I'm not giving him a
He
pass. I'm not giving him a
absolutely
pass.
knew what he was doing in the Oval Office. In fact, that before he was meeting with all these Democrats, just goading him on, saying, yeah, give it to him, give it to him, give it to him. And he did. And obviously, President Trump and Vice President Vance and Secretary Rubio are not
Oh,
going to like
they're not
that.
gonna
They're
like
like,
it,
are
no.
you kidding me?
Nor
After
should they.
Americans have given so much money to Ukraine, and we've got our
Right.
own people
About
who need
half
help.
of which apparently got there.
He even said that, but
By the
our
way,
people need help.
yeah.
Hello, Hazard. So
Yeah.
that's why we're like, you know what? We're keeping it local. We're keeping it American, and wanted to do something on John's birthday, so chose this. So if you can contribute, or if you show up, and we'll be so happy to see you there. We're really excited
Absolutely.
about it.
And I'm not giving Zelensky a pass at all. He didn't wear a suit. He didn't even. I mean, he'd wear, and apparently he has a clothing line that are that military thing. You know, look like he just came from the trenches,
But
so he
here's
can
the
have this
thing.
important. Wait, I'm not done with that
Go
one
ahead.
yet.
I know, and
No,
somebody's going to complain.
I think. Well,
Sorry.
I think when English is not, I'm not saying he made a mistake. I'm just saying that when you get frustrated and when you get angry and when you want to, that you have a tendency to say things that perhaps you know are stupid and you shouldn't have said them. That's why he came back and he meant every word. I'm not giving him a pass on anything like that. He meant every word, but his diplomacy, which he should have brought with him and he did not bring with him, went out the window. And I think he realizes that he made a huge mistake.
Well,
And of
yes.
course, you know, because if we have business interests, which apparently he is going, if he hasn't already, probably by the time you see this, he will have signed the rare earth mineral agreement. He knows that if the United States has business interests in Ukraine, then people are no longer going to bomb it. Putin is no longer
Just
going
like
to
the
bomb
Gaza
it.
Strip.
But guess what? We don't need rare earth minerals. We have enough for the world in Alaska. We have enough for the world, I think, in Utah. I think Utah is another one of our beautiful states that has rare earth minerals aplenty.
President Trump is trying to figure out a way that we could recoup some of the money. Why are we just giving them all this money? That's crazy.
Well, we actually gave most of it to Nancy Pelosi, I think. Did you see her last night?
She was not happy.
What a disgusting human being. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Remember, she's the one that ripped up the State of the Union speech, which should be illegal because that's an official federal document, right? So, I don't know. I don't understand. Who was that clown that they threw out? Thank God they threw him out.
Green.
Who the hell does he think he
Representative
is?
Green, I believe that's the name, from Texas. That was really rude. Look, you have to have some sort of decorum. Otherwise, you will get kicked out. Speaker Johnson did the right thing because the president is there. They're hosting the president. It's another branch of government because, hello, you've got the executive branch, legislative,
the legislative
and judicial.
Oh, and now we have the bureaucratic branch. No, we don't. There is no such thing as a fourth branch of government. There are three.
Elon Musk has no power.
No.
He
He has the
technically,
president's ear.
He has no power, though. He
Right.
advises the president, and it's up to the president. He's the one that signs, executive orders. He is the one that makes the decisions. But he has many, many, many advisors, just like every president that's ever been president of the United States or really any other country.
Right. You need to have advice. And
You
guess
have
what?
to have advisors.
They say, well, Donald Trump, this is what they said about the first time he was president. Well, he doesn't listen to anybody. He's just like a cowboy and he runs roughshod over anything. No, that's not true. He surrounded himself.
With
The
great
first
people.
time he surrounded himself with some great people and a lot of
Spies.
a lot of people who did not like him and did not want to further his notion, his dream for America. Not so this time.
No, he
And,
learned.
and now that we have a majority all the way around, these people are going batshit crazy, and they are forgetting their manners. Not that they, I guess, ever had any, but how can you be? I testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee trying to get an amendment passed that would protect our flag, probably 30 years ago. When you walk into that room, you wear a suit. When you walk into the Oval Office, you damn well wear a suit. But you are in the most hallowed ground of our country, and you need to treat it as such. The Democrats last night seemed to think that they were at a Denny's, right? They're at a Denny's and they can say whatever the hell they want and they can sit on their hands.
I think that's an insult to Denny's.
I'm sorry, Denny's. I apologize. I love Denny's. I can't think of a, and I'm not going to blast some, down home little place. Anyway, you get my point. And that's not where you were. The Democrat representatives, and I don't understand because you have to be, I think, above average people to be in your position. I think you have to be an above average person, a speaker, an understander of words. Okay, someone who comprehends what people are saying, and therefore you should be a better human being. I remember back when I didn't like it when it was Joe Biden standing there addressing the.
No, but we would never do that.
Well, no, and what they
That is
did.
President of the United States. You have to respect the office.
But what they did, I remember thinking, this is so clever because they packed his speech. And I don't believe he wrote a word of it, but they packed his speech with things that if you didn't applaud, it would make you look bad. So, and it was reluctant, but he was saying some things, and all of the Republicans, they were like, well, damn it, I've got to, and and they hated to do it, but they had to stand up. These people last night, it was last night as we're taping this, they didn't respond even to the young man who has cancer, whose dream is to be in law enforcement, who the President Trump made it was an official, a real member of the FBI. How wonderful is that? That's right? It was the FBI?
Yes. So there was that. And that was bad. But also
They
what
didn't
was
say
bad,
it. They didn't do a thing.
But also what was bad was you had these, the parents and family of the slain victims of illegals that were just tortured and murdered, and you're not going to be sympathetic to them. You're not going to be sympathetic to the cancer patient that was thrilled, and he's a little kid it was heartbreaking.
It was so absurd.
It was so terrible, and it was like, how could you do that? But they did. They did.
At every available opportunity. As time wore on, when you realize, if you're the smart person that I thought you were, when you realize you are in the process of losing this battle, and what the wise words are, you have to choose your battles, but you want to win the war. In order to win the war, you have to lose some battles. Well, you
lose
lost
a few
this
battles,
battle.
that's okay, but my goodness, to just be so blatantly mean when you've got a little kid there that's fought cancer, I think almost his whole life, maybe whole life.
Well, yeah, he's not
and
very
he's
old.
He's little, and you are just like.
And he's beaming, and his dad
and
is
he's
holding
so
him there, and he's
thrilled.
like, "Oh, this
And
is
he's
the
so
greatest
sweet.
thing."
And
he
they're
looks
just-
over, and he sees.
Pocahontas.
Oh, here's what she was doing. Here's what the Maxine? No, what is her name?
Pocahontas.
Yeah, okay. She's like this.
I knew until you talked about Maxine Waters, because that will mess you up.
That will mess you up.
It will mess you up.
Liz Cheney.
No, not Liz Cheney. She's out, thankfully.
Who was it?
And
Anyway,
that's
you know who it is.
No,
She's
give
there.
me a minute. I'll think of it.
She's there like this.
Yeah.
Now, granted, President Trump did on several occasions say, "These people over here,"
Well, not until they did it. Not until
well, which
they
they,
did
they
it.
did nothing. It's such an embarrassment, I think, to humanity, and it's embarrassment to their office, their achievements. This is what they're going to be remembered for. Whatever they've done since they were elected to the position that they're in is going to be forgotten. Nobody cares. People are going to care about what they did last night. Mm-hmm. People are not going to remember, unless, and please God, unless Nancy Pelosi gets a knock on the, Mrs. Brandt, unless she gets a knock on the door and gets arrested for what she's done, then we'll remember that more. But what we're going to remember is that she stood behind the President of the United States and tore up his State of the Union speech.
That
was 4 years ago.
That's the least of what she's done.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so we'll allegedly talk about the people in Congress. They make six figures, which is a good salary. But they shouldn't have like $8 million of net worth. They shouldn't have like $20
Well, or $400 million
$19,
of net worth.
$1 billion. So clearly they are
to
getting
include
money.
you, Barack Obama.
So they're getting money
Sorry,
from somewhere.
Barack Hussein Obama.
So is it the George Soros? And again, allegedly, that George Soros is just giving bribes? Is it that they have insider trading tips on things where Martha Stewart went to jail, but the rest of them, because they're in Congress, get away with it? So that is why they hate Elon Musk. And that's where they're saying, well, he can dress in a T-shirt if Elon does. Well, let's have an etiquette lesson. When you walk into someone else's home, let alone country, let alone the president's office, get it together, buddy.
Well, wait a minute. What was Elon? He was wearing a coat over the T-shirt. You were right.
True.
He was wearing a coat
No,
over the
but the
T-shirt.
Democrats are trying to complain about, Elon's a different story. I mean, he is.
Well, he's not the president of a
and
country.
he's not begging for money. He is helping us save money. He's got billions. He doesn't need anybody's money. Where Mr. Zelensky is begging for money again and again and again. And he's already gotten so much. And I'm going to go back to the fact that the folks in Hazard are suffering, and they're in trailers and they're freezing.
Well, the
and
lucky ones are in trailers.
Right. And then Zelensky is begging for money, and we need to take care of our own folks. Sorry. And then half the money,
he said,
and then he said, we didn't even get half the money. Well, where the hell did it go? I guess we're going to find out. So thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Secretary Rubio. I mean, what a wonderful group of people that are getting to the bottom of it, and that's why the Democrats are furious.
Well, and they're all laconic people. They're all like I saw Tom Holman. They were asking. It was the embarrassment from Westchester County, AOC. She was saying, "Isn't this plan, designed to separate people?" He said, "No, it's not designed to separate families." Well, they can all go together. He said that early on, but she tried to do that again last week, and she's saying, "Well, the plan is when you come and you find this person, you take them away." He said, "Look, when a police officer pulls over I'm going to embellish this a little bit, but basically he said when a police officer pulls over a minivan with a family of 12 in it and the person driving is drunk, we separate that person from the family. We take them away. Nobody has a problem with that. You call that police officer a hero because, this guy is no longer going to be driving a projectile down the road, possibly killing his family and someone else's family, and probably not him in the process. So what is your point, AOC?
Well, this is
What is your
all
point?
I care about. Look,
How did you breathe the air that I breathed when I grew up and wind up being such a moron?
Oh, but she says that Elon Musk is dumb.
Oh, and I respect
when you make
her
billions of
bartender.
dollars.
I love bartenders, but I'm not going to go.
We love bartenders on Drinks with Dee
I'm
and
not going to
John.
go put a room full of bartenders together and ask them who the smartest or dumbest billionaires there are in the world. And the other people I wouldn't ask? Actors. And the third, musicians. No, there are a couple I would ask, but most, no.
And actually, we've had a couple of fans that they're liberal, and they got mad at your comments last night, by the way. And they're like, "Well, I'm done with
they did. Oh,
John
I'm so
shit."
sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that word, but they did. She did. And I'm like, you weren't picking on her or anyone else. John was talking about the people in that room very clearly. Talking about the people in that room that were mean to the kid, mean to the cancer patient.
Disrespectful.
I think they were mean to the little boy. I mean, that was mean.
That's awful. No, it was terrible.
And then the families of the folks that have lost loved ones due to illegal murderers and rapists. I mean, I'm sorry, but you don't get a pass. So just know that John, for one, even as an actor, he's allowed to have his opinion. And does he suffer that a little bit? Yeah, here and there, and like, well, we're not going to do a show because you're a Republican. John doesn't care.
Well, here's something liberal.
And if you do not want to be supportive
liberal
of
hirers,
him, fine.
Here you go. Democrat liberal hirers, if you own a movie studio or whatever it is you own, and you don't want to work with me, guess what? I don't want to work with you either, and I haven't for a long time. And so what?
John is taking that
So
route.
what? I hire people. I'm occasionally hired, but only by people who I like. Okay, so forget all that nonsense. It's just
John
nonsense.
doesn't care.
I don't care. So, and guess what? There are more people on my page who are watching right now. There are more people who agree with me. And if you don't, you know what we're about. If you don't agree with this, why troll our podcast so that you can make nasty comments? Really? Yeah. Do you not have a life? Do you not have anything else to do? And we're only talking about 2 or 3 people, really, which is amazing.
But yeah, 99% of people are so sweet.
99.999% of people.
Thank you so much. It's so great. You're so supportive of what John does and what we do.
Well, and remember, I helped start Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Okay? So we are the single largest children's charity in the world. So when that young man was not applauded by the people on that side, it was disgusting.
It
was vile.
It really is. So
yeah,
John
that
comes
hurts.
outside here,
That
does a
doesn't
video.
hurt me. That pisses me off
Yeah.
in a place that a lot of people don't have, because that was not right. That's unforgivable.
It really is.
And what else is in the headlines these days? The guy, you know, I read the thing on about they have the guy in custody who helped mastermind what happened on when in Afghanistan. Okay,
Well,
and
good.
I think that's great. But really, the guy that masterminded what happened in Afghanistan is probably sitting at the beach somewhere right now, because that's Joe Biden. That's who masterminded the disaster that was the withdrawal of the United States
Sweetheart,
military from Afghanistan.
I have to disagree. I don't think Joe Biden ever masterminded anything. I don't want to be your contrarian today, but I do not believe he masterminded anything. I don't think he has the ability.
But he's responsible
he
for it.
is
Okay, then it's
responsible.
Obama.
The buck stops with
Yes.
him, but someone else was masterminding it, and I think you just said who it was.
Yeah. The person from that side here, wait, I have it right here. Okay. So that person, right, is what they say here. That's the picture of evil. But let that not distract Americans from who is really at fault for who designed the withdrawal of our troops from Afghanistan before the civilians were out. Let's not forget what administration did that. Okay, and yeah, I don't think Joe Biden has decided to go to the bathroom on his own in 5 years or so, 6 years. I mean, I really
Not
don't.
for a bit.
And I refuse to feel sorry for him. You know, because that's what if you go down that rabbit hole, people are like, well, you know, he's infirm and he's all that. Well, yeah, but he was the
then
president of the
bam.
United States.
Move on.
Okay,
I mean,
for
you know,
crying
it's
out
not
loud.
right. So
Yeah.
that was just, thank goodness for Donald Trump, and thank goodness we are where we are now. And for the liberals who want to be angry about it, well, you know, we had a really bad 4 years. So I don't feel sorry for you. And we endured it. And now we have our president and we have our leader that America chose.
Marca.
Well, and it was the Electoral College
Oh,
and the electoral
popular vote.
And the popular vote. That is a huge deal.
For a quiz.
He won every purple state,
Everything.
just overwhelmingly. So he is doing exactly what everyone wanted.
And he won because it was too big to rig.
Thank goodness.
Because where did Kamala Harris win?
where there was no voter ID. Now,
Right. And
again,
mail-in ballots.
How in the heck can you have no voter ID when you can't do anything without an ID? You can't do anything. You know, at the casino, you have to hand out over. At the post office, you have to. I mean, for anything and everything, you have to show your ID.
I got locked out of my Facebook. Right?
And John had to show his ID
And I
like three times.
I had to take a picture and a video.
In a video.
I mean, I had to take a picture of my license and a video proving that it was me twice, and twice I failed.
So from Facebook, when you
I
see
guess-
that
I
I
guess-
post it, John, it's really John, but he had to do it from my phone for a little while because Facebook locked him out. But a lot of that, and this brings us back.
Thanks to Jack McCarthy at Indiepreneur, we're back in, and thank you for the couple of folks in Facebook. He actually got hold of someone whose first
After we stopped
language
the ads.
whose first
was
language
my
is
idea.
English, and they fixed it so well that this morning I got a message from Jack, and he said, "Hey, I think I've got some codes. It's that two-factor code generator thing." So I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have that on your phone and you used Facebook, you need to get through Google, and I hate to have another app on the phone, but you need to get the Google Authenticator app and go to your Facebook and point that to, if you have a new phone number. Here's what happened with me. Had an old phone, got rid of the old phone number, but that number was on all of my two-factor authentication things. I didn't know it for months because I didn't need it. So when I needed it, it would send the code to the wrong phone number that I have no access to. So go on YouTube, figure it out, set that up for your phone now, especially if you're thinking about or if you just got a new phone. Before you throw that old phone out, you know, everybody's had to register a new device now, right? So you've got to register your phone, your new phone, before you get rid of the other one, or there is no way that you'll get back in unless you stop paying them $1,800
My
every
idea.
3 days.
No, because we pay a lot of money for ads.
We do.
On Facebook because we love Facebook.
So I would get.
But
Ugh.
I'm like, all right, you know what? If my husband cannot get into that, cut him off. And amazingly enough, they were like Zelensky. As soon as the president cut off Zelensky, 24 hours later.
Thanks. I've got bourbon in my sinus cavity.
Oh my gosh, I want to cooperate. It's always about the dollar, it seems. So,
And it was somebody named
just
Justin.
saying.
Justin from like Northern California that called, not someone from, some other country. But set that up because it's so frustrating. And there's no. I mean, if I can't prove with my driver's license and a video of my face this big, if I can't prove I'm me, then probably you can't prove you're you.
However,
So you should an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of frustration.
However, that's a segue to at least talk about this for 1 minute, the scammers. Please, please, please make sure for hazard, do not let the scammers say, hey,
They're
I've
already
got free
trying.
tickets.
They're already
They
trying.
were all over it, and it's so bad. So we're going to set up the link, and then the guy who, by the way, I'm related to because there were
That's right.
tons of Napiers. I have to tell you, it was so funny because
That
when John
was
and I
very
talked
funny.
about
I'm listening to them like
because
this.
John's always, John was listening to it. So much fun. So anyway, so John, always does something on his birthday, as you all know, as the fans know. And we were going to do a concert in Nashville, and then on a beautiful facility, we'll do something else.
We're going to do it
though.
there anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll do something else down the road.
Right.
And that was for profit. That was fun. It was like, you celebrate John's
Well,
birthday.
hopefully
we
it
do a
was for
concert.
profit.
No. It would have been sold out. And then, but we'll do something with them later. But when Hazard popped up, we both looked at each other and we're like, we've got to do something.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like, well, how about on your birthday? And then John's like, yep, I'd rather give than receive. So there we go. So then called a friend of mine that I knew would have the right person. And it ended up, in the end, the initial guy said, well, what's your maiden name? Or because I said, well, I was born in Erie, Kentucky, right up the road. He goes, oh, yeah, of course. He goes, well, what was it? Napier. Okay, well, you know everybody then. You're good. Don't worry. All is well because the Napiers rule down there.
Right. So yeah.
Then the funnier part was the guy who's putting the band together and really working the event very hard. Last name?
Napier.
Napier. We're cousins,
Napier.
no doubt about it. My
He's
mother.
putting the stage together. The band is my band. Yeah, he's putting the stage together.
But the show, the ins and outs and that stuff.
He's doing all the legwork. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
really, really
you always
great.
have to have local folks that are good, and he is wonderful. He is kin, and believe
He's
me,
kinfolk.
if you're a Napier, nobody's messing with a Napier. So anyway, so we are so thrilled to be going to Hazard on the positive note.
Yep. And he put that
it's
video
gonna-
together. He grabbed video
It's going to be
from
amazing.
1982, which is odd that they even had any. But I think the local news, when Tom and Kathy and I went down, we did a benefit because there was a coal mining accident. They had a cave in there, so we did a benefit at Hazard High for the families who'd lost family members, sadly, in that cave in. So all of a sudden, all this video pops up. And come to find out that Napier, your guy that I talked to for a minute or two yesterday, he
Great
was
guy.
at that concert as
My
a child.
cousin. Yeah, he's a
as
little
a child. Yeah. So now he's running this one, and he was at that concert as a child. So if that's not proof that God pays attention and there's no such thing as coincidence, then nothing is.
And
nothing
it
is.
will be the most special night ever. And he is so filled with love. He said, everyone is so excited. Everyone, they have faith again. I mean, everybody feels good about it. Then John's coming down, and because they've really had a hard time. So we're thrilled to be doing that instead of money going to another country or going to a congressman or woman
Yeah.
that's just spending willy-nilly on whatever. What's that?
I don't know.
This
It wasn't
is going,
ours.
No. This is going to folks that need it.
Yep, it sure is, and we're delighted to be there. It's on
And we'll put the
April
link
8th.
up. The link
Scoot over
will
that
go
way
up.
again a little bit, baby. It's on April 8th, which is a Tuesday. Now, that's an unusual night to be doing a concert.
But birthday.
But it's my birthday.
Birthday boy.
It's my birthday.
Yeah,
so
and it's
we're
good
gonna
to
do
like
that.
give.
Yep.
And
then
John
we're gonna.
wanted to do that.
There it is again. Then we're gonna look. It's a Democrat. Then we're gonna look around. We're gonna look around.
We're not
right
that
after
partisan.
that. No. No.
Well,
So
he is.
we're going to look around, and then we're going to do some location scouting for Earls of Perry.
And that will have economic development, because for this last flood,
What does that mean?
again, they had economic development, meaning that when when you do a film in an area, the businesses thrive.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, the film, the location scouting won't, but the
And
filming will.
that's
Okay.
second phase, because we were doing that anyway. That's not new. We had planned, and in fact, here's the weird thing. What the heck?
They're building something. over
Okay,
there.
so here's the weird thing.
Well, but they're listening to us too, and there's a good chance that there's some folks over there that are. Look at that.
It's all good.
Look at that.
I know. I think you look great. I look fat because I'm in this. Okay, I'm just going to say I am so bothered by this because I'm in a pleather jacket, which is. I'm dying because you're.
Well, it has a little tear in it.
Oh, well, thank you very much for pointing that out. Nobody would see that. But I think I look
Nobody
so
can
fat
see it
in this
now.
pleather
You do
jacket.
not.
I do. Look
Stop
at you.
it.
You're Mr. Superman.
No,
Look
no,
at your
it's just
muscle.
'cause of the
just
color.
do the muscle man again, please. I'm begging you.
Well, you can't
At
really
least
see it
one
there.
of us looks good.
That's because
I look
I'm
stupid.
rubbing it in that my electrocution suit is working.
It is. Do the muscle man again. Both.
It hurts.
Please. Just do it.
It hurts. I can't.
Superman.
Doesn't look like much.
So anyway, we're golfing here in Vegas a lot, and we love this course. It's the one.
Oh, that's a
where,
logo. This course right here.
Right. The Las
Right.
Vegas.
Actually, here's a couple
National-
pictures from Las Vegas National,
Right.
where Tiger Woods won his first professional his PGA.
Yeah, but I
match.
love it that
Here's
the
a couple
plane
pictures. There you go.
landed
Thank
in the
you,
movie
Tony.
casino. I think it's so cool. And then you had a lot of because
Sinatra lived there. Here's a picture of
Debbie
maybe
Reynolds,
He's not around
Sinatra.
anymore, but here's the backyard of Sinatra's house.
You
Check
know,
that
why
out.
not? Yeah, I mean,
Because it says
the gate,
F.
F. It's
I
Frank.
think that
it's
meant
Frank's
Frank.
gate. Oh, it is.
If it was my gate, it might have meant something else.
What do you think? It's Fabio? No, it's not. It's Frank.
There it went up in my nose again.
I may not be as pretty as you, but I am funny and smart.
You are fun. I'm not pretty.
But my jacket is horrible. But I'm not taking it off because that'd be worse. So my point is this.
What is your point?
My point is that I just would rather talk about Hazard than my jacket. But I had to bring
I
it
didn't
up
bring it
because
up. You
I
did.
know but you look so beautiful, and I
That's
bought
what-
this.
that's what, by the
and
way,
by
that's
the way,
what,
I bought this for him when we went to the golf course.
Because it
and
was
a
supposed to
little
get colder.
chilly.
It was supposed to be in the 50s.
Well, today it is.
I don't think so. I think it's still 60 something.
But and I pulled out this stupid leather jacket, which is so cheap and terrible, and you could die in this. It's almost like, do you remember James Bond when they painted the girl gold? That's how I feel
think
right
that's
now.
not true.
Well,
They
in
said
the
it.
show,
She died. I mean, in the movie, she died, but they said the actress actually got.
Well, she didn't die for real, but in the movie.
Well, when it happened, they said
remember-
she did. Because I was around when that movie came out.
No.
I know, but that's
I
what
don't
they
believe
said.
that. But
You know.
remember, which one was that? Not Goldeneye. It seems like it
Goldfinger.
would be Goldfinger, the
Goldfinger.
man with the golden
Well, and people have allergic
And then it ended
reactions.
up in Kentucky, by the way. Remember at the end?
I don't. Is that
And
where
they
they played
flew
golf?
into Kentucky, and they were talking
Oh,
about
probably
ranch
for
water
the.
and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I remember that. I think they played golf and somebody cheated. I mean, because they.
When you
who cares?
had the Asian guy
Who
that
cares?
threw the
Odd,
hat.
Odd Job. We just watched Wild
Don't
Wild
do it.
West.
Don't do it. I know you want to.
Punjab. We just watched. that was
bad.
Annie. That's Annie.
Punjab.
We just watched the Wild Wild.
I know, but
we're,
John will do it in a restaurant.
We're stuck on the Wild Wild West right now.
Wild Wild West.
And we just saw an episode where they had a tambourine, and they threw the tambourine, and it chopped the head off of a statue, and then of course it chopped the head off of the bad guy. But I wonder what came first. Was it Goldfinger with Odd Job, or was it Wild Wild West?
See, well, we talked about this tape because I love.
We've never talked about this.
No, we did. You weren't awake apparently. No, you don't even know what I'm going to say yet. See, let me just make this point. I'm the one who gets in trouble for interrupting John, but he does it to me too. But because you were so beautiful in a movie star.
If I didn't interrupt you, I'd never get to speak.
Well, but I get in trouble for it, but you don't, and I understand that because you're so popular and lovely. But
I'm going to do what Wopat would do to me way back in the Dukes days.
would I get one chance?
No, that's a point.
It's a
What's your
point.
point? What's your point?
My point is, I was trying to say that Wild One West was very much like James Bond,
Oh,
in
absolutely.
my opinion.
I agree. We
Because
did
you have
talk
all
about
the
that.
gadgets. See?
I was
See?
not
Am
asleep.
I right? Are you going to say you're wrong?
No, you're right. We did
Okay,
talk
thank
about
you.
that.
So anyway, I'm just, not that.
And I
care
didn't
about
know
that.
where you were going. Who could?
Well,
Could?
Well, because John is very like A to B, and I'm very A to everything.
Don't.
Well,
But I
that's
don't
how we
write
get
that way.
along.
I
No,
write.
you're
I
a
write.
great writer.
I write A, Z, and some letters in the
John's
middle.
a great writer. He's so talented.
I've been writing on Earls of Perry, and what did I tell you yesterday?
Doing a
I
great
finished
job.
finished writing on this computer we're talking to you on. I finished writing a scene, and I put it down. And what did I say? Do you remember?
You're writing again.
Wow, it's writing itself.
Right,
It's like
it's writing
blah.
itself. And that's
I'm
going to be
so
amazing.
excited for you to see Earls of Perry.
And then when we go there, I think John will be, just inspired.
So
for the
inspired.
people, for the folks.
So very inspired.
And I just want to go back to the positive that it's just like these people.
How is that not positive? We're talking about Earls of Perry.
I know. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
from-
We're talking about Earls of Perry.
No, but from Congress because they
That
were
was
so
that was
horrible.
my God. That's so yesterday.
I know, but I'm just saying
That's
we're
so
bringing it
yesterday.
around to the positive, which these folks in Hazard are my kinfolk, and really John's
Jed,
kinfolk
move away
in a
from
way.
there.
No.
Kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there.
Well, all
Said
I know
California
when I
is the
called
place
the
you ought to be.
contact, and he's like, "Oh, you're a Napier, okay." And then the guy in charge is a Napier. I mean, there's a cemetery there. They're all
And I'm
Napiers.
gonna go into Dukes here for a minute. And I said to him when I was talking to him, there was an actor who did Dukes a bunch of times. He also did True Blood. And I said to Charles, he said, Napier, Charles Napier. Yeah, he's very famous there. Charles has since passed. Wonderful guy, has a chin like Dudley Do-Right. Search the Dukes of Hazzard and you'll find, actually, we'll find a picture and we'll put it right here. Bam! Right there. There's Charlie Napier in Dukes. And he was a great, great guy. Lived in Tehachapi, California. And little did I know that I would be tangled up with a Napier all these years later. By the way, the Dow
and by the
Jones
way,
Industrial Average has zoomed.
I looked him
there
up.
he is.
And he was born in Kentucky. Hello.
Well, of course.
All the Napiers started in eastern Kentucky. Believe me, we're a big clan. Well, but it's an ancient Scot-Irish clan. Scottish, really. So don't mess with a Napier. If they tell you that name, just
Here, we don't need to post it. There's Charlie.
let them do what they want to do. I'm telling you,
There's Charlie Napier.
they don't mess around. We don't mess
Had
around.
a voice like, I can't even do it. He had a voice like that, John. The John M. Duke boys. Anyhow, Charlie was great. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And he's a Napier. And here I wind up with a Napier. Do you have any Schneiders in your world?
No.
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 So the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone up 500 points, which is kind of great since we had our wasn't really a State of the Union, whatever that was. You would think that the stock market would be in big trouble after such a I don't want to call it. It's not divisive. It was divided. I don't think anything that the present administration has done is divisive at all. I think it is unifying patriotic people. It's unifying Americans. It's unifying people who love this country, who want to take don't take this the wrong way, but great advantage of opportunity. And we have an administration that wants to create the most opportunity that they possibly can. And there are other people who have been taking advantage of less than noble opportunity, I would say, who now realize that someone just turned the lights on. It's not happening anymore. We're not going to send $300 billion to a country who needs it so that you can keep 150 billion untaxable dollars for yourself while you are hiring 84,000 IRS agents to come put a gun to our heads so that we'll pay taxes so you can continue not to. And then you can go on television and say, well, the rich need to pay their fair share. Well, what about you, Nancy? What about you, Joe? What about you, Hunter? What about you, Adam? What about you? You ever think about that? You ever think that perhaps, and I say this almost every time, this is a country that is a government that is by the people and for the people. It is not a people that is by the government and for the government. And you seem to have thought it was for your entire maybe not your entire, maybe you were altruistic when you first started, but what the hell happened?
Well, most
What
people,
happened to you?
a lot of people cannot handle, if George Soros or someone.
I'm sorry, just that's what's happening in the stock market right now, okay? Hello. You see, green good, red bad. Green is very good. I'm sorry, baby. Go
Unless
ahead.
it's the election. Green doesn't matter. It's red or blue, and red is good. But I
Nice
love green.
try.
I know.
You're gonna pull a muscle stretching that joke.
You're right.
Oh my God, your
My stock
stock
is
is
good?
going crazy. Yeah,
How much?
I'm not gonna say
Okay.
a lot. Mine went up a lot, but mine is not.
See, I believe that if you're good to people, it comes back to you. I mean, here and there, you have to deal with difficult people that are really mean, and they are jealous, or they are just bad, whatever. And nobody's perfect, so you give them a chance,
But some people are close.
and maybe give them a second chance. But then, if they consistently are like that, moving on,
It's
George
my
Soros,
nature.
then you know it's their nature.
Yeah. Now, God, Soros.
That's your guy from your hometown.
Is he from Mount Kisco? Oh, he moved there. He's not from there. He moved there. There's a difference.
Yeah, he's from Greece.
Yeah, you say, somebody says, where are you
That's
from? And they say, what do you mean now? I said, no, not now. Where are you from? That's where you are. Where are you from means where were you born?
Okay, well, guess what? I was born
Kentucky.
13 miles from Hazard, so I'm a real Kentuckian for sure. Tried and true. My cousin, Greg Napier, and I'm going to give you his number because he said I could. If you have any questions about this event,
Really?
yep. he
Okay,
said I
Tony,
could.
write this down, please.
606.
606.
Go ahead, baby.
606
233.
233.
I need my glasses for the last part. Sorry. My readers.
She keeps Rite Aid in business.
I do, because I always lose them. 2768.
2768.
So the whole number is 606-233-2768. Greg Napier, my cousin,
Greg, I'm sorry, but you said she could do it.
he loves it. He's so excited about this. His dad, taught
You're gonna
at
have to
Cheney
somebody's gonna have to bring you
Elementary
food.
School to my mom, Nancy Napier. She went to Breathitt High, so Perry and Breathitt, their counties right
Bloody
there.
Breathitt.
And by the way, that's where J.D. Vance is from, same area. You never know, J.D. might come.
We're gonna invite him. He was great. Oh
He
my
might come.
God.
And whenever
He was
that
so-
green
uh-oh.
guy, whenever
Sorry.
he was acting up, he was like,
Move over that way a
get
little
out,
bit.
man.
Move her that way. Yeah, he was
Oh,
like,
right. Get out.
which was
great.
that was
You know,
pretty
and he-
darn cool. And how cool under fire. The reason why Mike Johnson is Speaker of the House is because he is solid.
He is stone cold Steve
He
Austin.
wasn't like no. There was
Without the
no
tights.
What?
He's stone cold Steve Austin without the tights.
That's right, and with hair. He was so great. He read exactly what, because you have to do, there's protocol to follow. And when these people were not, it doesn't mean you have to come in there and be nice, because I think historically there was someone shot during one of these speeches,
Yeah.
these gatherings, way back like 1812, 1815. But there was someone that was like, somebody went like, no. I'm not recommending that, certainly, but it was so wonderful to see Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Louisiana, read off the thing, and he said, that is your warning. Right?
He gave him fair
and
warning.
that man did not, well, he has to. He can't just say, that's it, he can't just get mad. Maybe he could, but he's not going to do that because he follows the rules. So he said, that was your warning. And then he gave him another one and said, sit down, sir. And then he didn't. And then he called the sergeant at arms and the sergeant at arms of the He-Man Woman Haters Club. The sergeant at arms was like,
Did you all see that one, Spanky? He's like, we're a part of the He-Man Women Haters Club, and we hate women. And they're all wearing pink. But they had no
it
problem.
was black and white.
But they had no problem with this poor girl, this beautiful blonde young girl who had brain injury, who they focused on as well, because a man with a wiener or born with a wiener. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm telling you, that was one of the people that President Trump featured, the one who got a brain injury because she was competing
right, in
against
volleyball.
a
Volleyball.
man, a boy, whatever. And
Yep.
I'm sorry, but look at this. Muscle man, pleather.
It almost
Muscle man,
broke.
pleather.
It
And
almost
we're going to
broke.
get in
It
a
almost
tangle.
broke her neck.
Right.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, and so these
I'm not sure how you
women-
got to there from.
well, you never know.
I was talking about sergeant at arms,
I don't know.
and because there's a person who was in charge of going over to Mr. Green, and I feel like I'm in a Tarantino movie. To Mr. Green, Mr. Black, Mr. White, going over to Mr. Green and removing him, and to that despicable person's credit, he didn't put up a fight with a sergeant at arms, but even from the back.
What are you going to do?
Well, but
Good luck.
but the sergeant at arms was like 28 years old, and he was like,
that
I
never
never had to
happened.
do this
It doesn't-
before.
right,
I never
right,
had-
right.
So he kind of went over like I'm not right, so like a bouncer on their first night, right? He was like, I don't know what to do. It was great, but.
Yeah, but he was over the top. He needed to be removed. It was very disrespectful.
Well, the Speaker of the House said, "Sit down, sir," and he didn't
he
sit
gave
down.
them warning. He
If
said,
the
"This is your
speak-
warning."
Right, and if the Speaker of the House said, "Floss your teeth," you have to floss your teeth.
And let me tell you something. That Speaker of the House is from Louisiana, and that was Fat Tuesday. Don't mess with him.
My God, that's right.
Yep.
So Mike Johnson, who should be at Mardi Gras, is there last night, and don't mess with somebody
mess
from
with
Louisiana who is
You can't
restricted
be at
from
Mardi
going to
Gras.
Mardi Gras. They will mess you up.
By the way, we went to the golf course yesterday. We had a ball. And then
That's funny.
And then I tried to get us to Mardi Gras, like the casino, and they took us to this little hotel that looked like kind of by the hour. We're like, ew.
No, it did
It
not.
did.
That
It didn't look
hotel
right.
was fine, or motel, whatever
No,
it
it
was
was.
fine.
Okay, well, anyway.
It just wasn't what you expected.
Well, we weren't having dinner there. Let's put it that way. So, because I was looking for a place for us, so we ended up at the Luxor.
So we went and had dinner. Yeah,
Which
and
was
I'd never
great.
been there before.
Which was great. We had a ball.
Yep, I'd never been there.
It was good. And then we listened to the speech on like your phone, and it was wonderful. I have to tell you, we've had a ball here in Vegas,
Yeah,
right?
Yep, it's been fantastic. Been a lot of fun. The weather has been fantastic. The golf course could not be better.
Oh, it's amazing.
Wonderful. And I played here a couple
Staff,
times years ago
great,
with Paul
wonderful.
Casey, my buddy. Hey, Paul. Don't know if you watch this show or not, but if you do, we have to at least spend, because we don't have much time left, we have to talk about the Academy Awards for at least 2 minutes. The least watched award show in the history of award shows,
And
I
we
believe,
got invited to a bunch
was the
of
Academy
stuff,
Awards.
and
no,
John said
not gonna.
no.
No, not gonna do it.
John said no.
Not gonna do it.
I'm like, okay.
Not gonna do it.
You know, marriage, guys.
well-
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Go
So,
together like a horse
if-
and carriage.
If my husband says absolutely not, it's absolutely not.
Right, and they've lost their way. However, I hear that Conan did a great job. So I hear that. I think
You
that's
know,
great.
I've always liked him, though. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
A lot of people don't, but I've always liked him. I
And
always
he
thought
was a
he
big
was,
Duke when he first started. He was a big Dukes fan and made sure everybody knew
liked
that.
him.
Yeah, no, he was great. So apparently,
quite talented.
you know, they have somebody who's smart and who's witty and who's funny, but who also has I don't know if he has a degree in journalism or not, but
He went to Harvard.
he seems like someone who is very intelligent, who tries to dumb it down for people like me. Kind of like talking to this one. But
What?
it was
what do you mean
interesting
about that.
you have to talk down so I can understand you.
No, I don't.
See, she thought it was a dig against her. It was really a dig against me, but I didn't mean it.
I
So
don't
now
know,
we're
I
in
don't
Princess
know.
Bride. Aha! So you think I should drink anyway?
John is brilliant
The,
and very talented.
I am. I don't understand what Adrian Brody was doing.
Oh, Lord. No,
Because
no, no.
when you go to the Academy, because I sang at the Academy, I've been to the Academy Awards. I've never been nominated for one. I've never been nominated for an Emmy. She has. And she won it. But there's a certain amount of time that you have, even though your life is changing, presumably forever as a professional. When the music starts, it means wrap it up. Wrap it up. Apparently, not only did Adrian Brody speak through, because I didn't watch
Well,
it. I
you
will not
blew it
support
off.
them at all.
Yeah.
He spoke through the first music and then said, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, all right, I'll do it. then took enough time for the music to start again, and then said, "Oh, I get it, I'll leave." Well, what a moron!
And then he spit out his gum.
Well, but
oh
this
my God.
this night, when you win an Academy Award, I've had several friends who've won an Academy Award. It is the biggest honor that can be bestowed upon you as an actor, an actress, a director, a producer, whatever. And what it does for you financially is it takes your quote, whatever you got yesterday, and doubles it, triples it, I don't know. But it's about integrity. It's not a clown show. So you're supposed to, so what he did was he won, and he's won twice. Once was for the piano years and years ago. It was an amazing move, and he's amazing. But he took what should have catapulted his career into orbit and turned it into
a negative.
If I was gonna hire Adrian Brody, I'd give him half of what he got last time because he's an idiot.
Why would
He's
you
an
spit your
idiot.
gum out at your.
Well, but that was a personal thing. Before he
No,
accepted.
that's gross though. It's wrong. It's
just
disrespectful.
ridiculous.
Just like Zelensky showing up in a friggin' t-shirt. It's and being mean to the
Well,
president.
in cargo pants.
It is disrespectful.
Yep, it's.
No, they give
So
you
we've
a
got to
time
get-
allotment, and then he didn't take that. He did double, the longest in history, and spit out his gum. I'm like, you know what? You were in their house. You know, look, we
Well,
were.
but the Academy Awards is they've kind of lost
But if you're going to go there,
any reason to respect the Academy. Has I don't know what the hell has happened to the Academy. It doesn't appear to be about excellence. Although, they could have given some awards that they didn't, and I applaud them. I applaud them for that, because it seems to me like the Academy often will give in to social pressure.
liberal social.
Yeah, social pressure. Now, I'm sure there was a time where they gave in to conservative social pressure. I get that, but that's not what the Academy Awards is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about something, and I'm sure, I did not see the movie that Adrian won the award for, but I'm sure his performance was excellent. I'm sure it was worthy of the Academy Award. But why do that? After you've been the greatest award that you could possibly get has been bestowed upon you, why would you make an ass of yourself on television? I don't get it. How can you be so good at one thing and so stupid publicly? Now, I know there's there's the alarm. I know that there's 5 people out there that say I should listen to my own, for crying out loud. I can't even turn my phone off.
Just turn your phone off.
I don't think it works that way. No, it doesn't work that way.
You can turn it
Finish
off.
my sentence, would you?
Anyway, let's go back to Hazard real quick. So we're going to put up the link. Greg Napier will help you out, my cousin.
And you have his number now.
Well, he said I could give it out, and it's going to be an amazing night. And this is a night of giving, a night of respect, a night about Americans in need.
I can't turn my phone off.
No, you turn
This
it
is
off.
terrible.
You just turn
I'm not
it
going
off.
to do it. Not going to do it. There.
So
All I had to do was sit on it.
So anyway, again, thank you to everyone that they watch. They care.
I know
You
they do.
care. Thank you very much.
Keep
We
expressing
appreciate it.
yourself. Express yourself on your Facebook, social media, at home, at the restaurant, at Denny's, right? Anywhere you go. Support your local restaurants. Always support your local businesses. If you've got a small hardware store in your town, please go there. Don't go to the big box stores. We do, because there is no
But
hardware
we always
store
look for the
in
mom
Madison
and pops.
anymore. If somebody you want to start a hardware store, come to Madison. Start a hardware store in Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurants are going to be tough because some of the best food in the United States of America is in Madison.
And we're in Vegas. And
We're
then
in
we're going to
Vegas.
go to LA. Then we're going to go to Hazard. So we've got a lot going on. And we just appreciate you all so much. Your love and support. And the negative people, well, I guess you're just going to be that way.
And thank you, Jeff and Kim and Mad Love, for sending us our mail and being our friends. We appreciate it. We
And
really,
they're
really
going
do.
to Hazard.
I know, they're going to be there. And they came to New York. All of you that came to New York to see Perfect Crime, we thank you so much for doing that. And all of our friends back at Perfect Crime, if you do watch our podcast, we miss you. What was I doing was it this morning or was it yesterday? I was going over my lines.
John, literally, I was hearing the lines.
You know,
from
just in
Perfect
case the
Crime.
phone rings.
So because John is so talented at everything, he's kind of everywhere. It's not like, you know, I was sharing with him that, you know, there are country music stars, that's all they do, and they're great. But John can do everything. So let him do everything. Have the universe. And thank you to our friends, our fans who appreciate that.
Happiness
Is a
won't
woman. But right now our focus is Hazard, and there are going to be a couple other
Yes, it's gonna be great.
surprises. A couple other surprises before that. It's going to be a good month. We love you all. Thank you so much for your help.
Here's to you.
and
Thank you
support.
for enduring the last 59 minutes.
Thank you.